24-hour period.
Anxious.
This might. All members are present. I'm going to waive the reading of public comments.
Sorry.
Rockstar. But we do accept public comment. You can do it at any time. We're going to move down to commissioner reports. Mr. G. And I have nothing also. So with that, we're going to go to updates. CSEA, whichever one. Come on.
Good afternoon. My name is Rebecca Michelson. I'm Vice President for CSEA. My president is also here tonight. Just want to let you know that we have our first meeting of the new school year on Thursday, August 22nd. We want to give you an update since it's on the agenda on disbanding of the personnel commission. Where that is, we have heard verbal interactions about people saying they were going to start a petition and start gathering signatures, but to our knowledge, nothing has happened beyond that. So just talk at this point. Renee and Julie Browns and Monica Chong, day custodian at Linwood Elementary, they all went to a CSEA conference in San Jose the end of July. I think it was 29th to the 1st. And if you would like, Renee said she's happy to answer any questions if you have them regarding conference and what was discussed. where that is. Did you want to speak with me about that?
Would you like to share anything about your conference time?
So we had quite a few resolutions at the table. So the resolutions at our conferences are basically, the resolutions at our conference are basically changes that are brought to the board, the association president and his board, to make changes in the association's constitution and bylaws. So we had many resolutions, most of which did not pass. Julie, can you remember how many actually did pass? I think just one, right?
Yes,
One or
one.
two, I think it's just one. I would have to get the specifics of which one that was, but anything that changes up in the constitution and bylaws for the association usually has a trickle down effect to the chapters to make those changes, but not all the time. I think the only change really that was made that won't affect our chapters was that it has to do with funding sources. Going from 2 funding sources to 1 funding source, and that did not pass. So things of those nature that don't trickle down to the chapters, we really won't see a difference here. But I'd have to go back and refresh my memory of which one it was that actually passed. But everything else that came up did not pass. So there's nothing I think that's going to really trickle down to affect us, which would come back to our members here. But we did have a good time. It was a lot of fun as well as business that we did. So it's always good to go to the conference and get, network with other chapters to see what's going on with them, how we can support them, and how they can maybe support us. So it's good to get those networks. I know I met a few new people that I hadn't met before. I had 1,500 people. We did do a picket line. So the hotel workers in the area, specifically the hotels we were staying at, were picketing for negotiations team for livable wages that the other side wasn't agreeing to. So we did do a ticket. That was really cool. Something interesting. We didn't make it over to the hotel where Julie and Monica were staying, but we did go through the 3 hotels that were close to the convention center. And so that was quite interesting. I've never done that before, so it's really interesting there. So we just learned some new things.
Is that organized by CSVA?
So it was supported by CSE,
Oh.
but it was actually organized by the group of the hotel workers there. I don't remember the union there, but they had actually called for support from
Oh, okay. So they
CSVA.
talked to their board.
And they're like, oh, well, how many people would you like? We have a conference coming up, about 1,500 people. So yeah, so that was really interesting to kind of join in too and see how that kind of all works and everything like that. So
It was in San Jose, correct? In the Bay Area.
yes.
Okay.
So the convention center is the Hilton, the Marriott, and then the Signia. And then Julie and Monica were at the AC, which is also a Marriott hotel. So we actually went out, the convention center, went to the Hilton first, where we spent majority of our time, and then came back to the Marriott, and then went over to the Signia, and then we came back. So it was about an hour-ish, 45 minutes to an hour that we did all of that. So something interesting, kind of a learning thing.
They give you guys signs.
We had signs, yeah, there was lots of signs. I only have a few pictures and they're not like great pictures. I don't want to get trampled.
Yeah.
As I'm trying
And
to
they
take
keep
pictures
walking.
as I'm going through. Yeah, I have none of myself. So yeah, that's right. Julie didn't participate because she didn't want to do all the walking with her recent
sense.
medical, so we didn't want to have her, doing all the walking, but
I
it
took
definitely
pictures
was-
and everything.
yeah, she's been involved with it for many years back, but it was really interesting to me because you hear about it, you see it, but to be in it, in the middle of it, it's really a whole different feeling and experience. So that was definitely something interesting. That was part of conference, but not really part of conference. But it definitely was nice to network with people, and I was able to help support another chapter that I never would have known to help, that needed help in supporting, had I not known. So it was really nice. So, but I like about conference.
Anything else? For Mike, was it?
So you want me to say?
I got it.
You got it.
Okay. No, Jordan.
No, he's in a meeting.
Oh. Why am I calling this? Treasurer's report.
They currently have 0 interviews in process, so we did have one today, so, and I'll get to that. There are 5 recruitments in the testing stage, and 7 recruitments are open. We currently have 360 classified employees. 164 are 8-hour full-time, 96 are benefited part-time, and 100 are the non-benefited part-time. School started this week. It's the second day of school. Barstow Intermediate open with 5th and 6th graders. There are currently 4 applicants for the director for my position. I have around 6 current merit directors and 2 retired directors who will be assisting me in the evaluation and testing phase of the recruitment for my replacement. The first batch of applicants will go to 3 of the screeners/scorers midweek next week. See how well they fare. Now, I've included in your packet some interesting. I've given you an updated eligibility or an updated vacancy list. This list is expensive. However, I will say, if you look, and you don't have it on yours, but there are 29 new positions that were created since May that are now on this list, and we have another 6 or 7 going to the board next week. The district getting a new equity multiplier, but you can see where it says new position. These are all new positions just since we started in May, adding these positions in there. So that's a current vacancy list. I also gave you the list of all of the eligibility lists since I started. So that's why it's kind of small print and 2 sides and everything. Gave you a copy of the budget. And then last but not least, we did have an interview today. We interviewed for our Title IX UCP compliance officer. And I'd like to introduce Dr. Michelson as our new Title IX.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a very fun day. I took the day off work, but I've been at school more than I normally do, so it's fun. Thank you.
Well, welcome to the district in a new position. You go out, walk back in, type like
Right.
that. Yeah, look there.
Thank you.
I'm sure your parents are very proud.
My dad's already asked me when I'm taking him out to dinner.
Okay, there you go.
Tell him, hang on, August. Tell me end of September. The end of September.
When you're going out to dinner.
So that.
I might be able to take him out the end of
The
September.
end of September, when you get your first real true management.
Your real
paycheck.
check.
I did say something about wait till the money's there, dude.
Also, please pass along that the Dodgers are 1-7. They always love that.
I will, and I'll make sure I lay the blame. I mean, I give people all the credit.
Yeah. That. We're gonna go to the adoption of the agenda. Would anybody like anything? I'll entertain a motion to the adoption of the agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Opposed? We have no thing, so we're gonna move on to what we have here, number 11, which is the consent list. Consent items, and so ratify the campus safety assistant eligibility list. It's all my consent, so we wouldn't have to. I'll entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Okay.
Any discussion? Anything on the consent? All in favor? Opposed? Okay, we're going to move on to the approval of the new classified management job classification and minimum quals for the school administrative manager, Ms. Dool.
I've included, as Commissioner Pringle had pointed out in the email earlier, there was an error on the back. I had duplicated one of the license and other requirements. I had duplicated the first aid CPR requirement. And I removed that from this current draft. That was the one, as opposed to the one that's in the agenda. I have extra copies up there too. So I did that. I also included for you guys a copy of the salary schedule for the management team, so you can see the difference in it. Now, this is not on there anywhere because it hasn't been approved yet. That's why it's not on there. And this is a salary schedule that was approved with changes back in January. We realigned some of the directors and public information officer.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion, to approve with, and please mention in your thing with correction. I will second it for discussion purposes. So I am going to go to this.
Okay, I was looking at it. See my notes and all my highlights. I think it's too low on the pay scale, range 54. I don't know if that's the district recommendation or the directors.
I looked at a variety of districts and here as well, with the realignment of the public information officer. He was raised up and putting this at the same level as the public information officer because of his influence with the community and directly kind of correlates to the influence that hopefully this position will have within this smaller, as I call it, the smaller section of the community where they're going to be an elementary site in that neighborhood, working with parents and stuff like that. It is within the realm of the other school administrative managers, the few that are left, at least here in the region. Hillendale still has them. I know Appleton did have them, but they have not had them for like 20 years. A lot of other districts got rid of them back at the start of the recession in 08. Hillendale was there, obviously saw the value, just as Barstow is beginning to see the value in having a classified manager, especially at the elementary sites where they don't have the APs or the deans, to kind of coordinate and oversee the classified staff on the sites, along with helping coordinate and oversee the budget and everything, and stuff like that. Because we're also, some of the positions that we're creating with the multiple equity multiplier funds is they're adding a senior office assistant to those elementary sites that have, that are receiving the equity multiplier funds to assist with attendance issues. The elementary sites in all their elementaries are now pretty much TK4 or pre-K4. But getting back to this job description, so you think it's, the salary schedule is too low?
I do. I believe it's too low. I mean, 3 different times here, it referenced help with student discipline and audits for the cafeteria program. You know, maintains the school budget. There's a lot of very highly responsible duties that are on here. If I remember correctly, the site testing coordinator was a certificated person that received a stipend. Now they're gonna package this position. So then I was looking at the other directors and like you have the PIO. You have the
Right.
PIO.
This is not a director position that's overseeing the sphere of influence of the entire district, like our director of nutrition services or myself for recruitment, testing and all that for the classified. This is just a manager at an elementary site. And it is at the PIO level, who does have a sphere of influence district-wide. Their sphere being that community area, the neighborhood where the elementary school is.
We can underscore administrative manager for 8 schools, not multiple.
Right. That's
I have a question. Given a perfect world, based upon the homework that you did, that you were going to discuss on the other thing, where would you think it would fall? So, an opinion of what? Again, understanding what it is you said, you know, they're overlooking, you know, site budgets and blah, 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 blah. So if you were to put it somewhere, where would you put it?
59.
Where we have the other directors.
Okay,
Right.
so, yeah. Okay, let me get back to that sentence. So as of why would you put them on the level of other directors?
Because they have a lot of responsibilities.
But it's not community-wide, Commissioner.
Yeah, I understand that, but you know, and you're taking some of the responsibilities from the school administrative assistant. And of course, you know, reading peers to relieve some of the duties of the principal.
Correct. It is to relieve some of the duties of the principal, but and part of it is to do with the fact that they used to all have APs, but they took away the APs. They don't have an AP or a dean in any of the elementaries. This is to help now take on the role of the supervision of the classified staff on the campus. So, but again, it's just that campus, it's not community-wide.
That's just my opinion.
Okay?
Remind me, where in the process is this right now? Is it still going to be negotiated?
This does not get negotiated
Oh, because of the CNC.
because it's managed.
Okay.
And salary schedule, salary placement is a recommendation from the commission. It's ultimately the district's responsibility to set the salary schedule for the range.
We used to have assistant principals at the campuses. What range were they? It's curious.
I honestly don't remember. I can try to go back and look and provide that for you,
To me, this sounds similar to a AP.
but they don't have they're not gonna have this oversight of the entire staff, just the classified staff. They have no oversight, like an AP on a campus when it was K-6 would have had supervision authority over a certificate
Maybe certificate.
and classified. This person can only do classified.
And let's remember, most of the assistant principals also were doing sites until they went to single ones. So when they started, split schools.
There's gonna be
I
one.
want to say range, if I remember. 90.
If it was 80 to 90, if that's what you can remember,
Yeah.
that's basically,
That's,
we're
Right,
starting
where
at
it was
91
Yeah.
for this person.
I'm looking at this and I heard another comment. All the goods and bads of this. Relieving duties, again, I guess this would go to those two also. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Might be somebody's workload is already in an existing place, so taking stuff out of that. Or, okay, so bringing this person in kind of actually help the administrative staff that's already existing in the schools.
Okay.
Question, statement, it's a question. But you would like to see it paid more because.
You deal a lot with the student supervision, okay? Behavior issues.
Is there some kind of matrix as to, and this is a learning process for me. Is there a matrix as to if you deal with students for a certain period of time during your day? if you
No.
set a pay scale or something, it's like, okay. Trying to get to where you're at. I'm trying to figure out anything that works within this structure, to get them.
I mean, I just started looking at all these duties. I mean, that's a lot of responsibility and it's a lot of work.
True. But also they get paid very reasonable sum. And to the thing, when they describe duties, I'm gonna go out, but I have a job description for somebody in my company. Every single possible thing that they could possibly do, they've told me to put up a piece of paper. They don't do that job every single day, but it wants to be there to be important. So where there is a lot of duties, maybe in a given day, certain things, and this would be changed with time during a course study if they find that the person, yeah, that it doesn't work, and the person gets the position. I kind of look at this one, it's kind of good, we're relieving people's workload in the school site, we're getting somebody else there, we're getting a new classified manager, which I'm assuming is a good thing, as outside of a certificated one. Let's start the bottom, see if it works out, and if the person doesn't like it, they can always come back to this meeting and say, hey, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, look into me because I've done that twice now, it seems like. Let's get them here first.
But they correct me if I'm wrong, but they can come here if they're on the CMCSS, right? Wouldn't they go to the district?
No. Classified's classified. I mean, they're classified management or classified bargaining unit. They're always classified and they have just as much right to come in here as anybody else does.
No,
They
that's
just
what
don't
I'm
fall
saying.
under our bargaining. Just classified management doesn't fall under our bargaining.
Right, there's no union.
Yeah, they don't
But
have.
we still, i.e. the Personnel Commission still represents all classified.
Correct. But what I'm saying, he's saying that if they come back and said, you know, I'm doing all this work, I need to, you know, be looked at, maybe raise.
Like either a reclassification or with a class study. Any class study will encompass any classified job description, including management. Any classified can request a reclass, classified managers can request a reclass, just like bargaining unit members can request a reclass. And a class study would look at all classifications, management, and,
They would eventually come here, they would complain to,
well, they would complain to me and they would
yeah,
come to you.
they would sit in the back of the room like, yeah.
But like you said earlier, the pay range is.
The range on a new
It's
classification is a recommendation to the board. It's a recommendation to the board.
But you said it was from the soup's office or from certificated.
No, she did the study to come up with what range they would fall in.
I did.
We're making the recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we're making the recommendation. It's once we approve or disapprove or whatever, work this out.
Mhm.
She will then take it to the board. And then
The board's already seen it. The board saw it on
Okay.
July 23rd.
My fault.
But again, the salary schedule range is a recommendation from the commission. When this goes to get filled, after recruitment, testing, eligibility list, interviews,
Mhm.
those positions, when we create them, because the position itself hasn't been created. Only the job description with the duties have been approved by the board. When the position goes with the actual salary range, the board can say, no, we think it should be something else. They can go up, they can go down. It's a recommendation.
Well, now to protect the principal's best interest, I don't remember that checking the thing back in my board history if we ever took one down. But say the board was to approve this, but now suggest that the position was $80,000. Would that come back for?
It would, I would
Consideration.
definitely have to bring it back.
Okay, so there is some protection there also.
I do know, and I will say this, put it on the record, in discussion with the district, they do feel that that might be a bit high.
I was going to assume that right off the bat. That procedure.
And I told them, oh, this is about where it should fall. So they've left it at that and said it's a.
So there'll be one of these at each campus.
See, the ultimate goal would be the hope. I know they're targeting, and I don't remember the two, I really don't, which two elementaries to start with. I think the ones that have probably the largest population, largest APA, start with.
Start with two.
that include the BIS?
No, those BIS and the junior high and the high school all have APs and Ds.
No, STEM?
I don't know if they're looking at STEM for this, but I think isn't STEM getting a
They're
new
getting a
dean?
Yeah, they're good.
Okay, so it would just be the,
The K4, in K4, pre-K4.
primary. Primary.
What do they call it?
Primary.
Well, okay, we're not in England. We're not in England. So that,
I hadn't heard.
Elementary versus secondary, sorry.
Gotcha. Mr. G, Nathan. I hear your concerns, and I think protections is in place. I look at the number and board's already okayed it. I need to think probably try to bring this number down. Otherwise, there's gonna be two, they see how it works. People have this form like everybody else. Except for maybe by the time that they come around and want some help, that they then have gotten rid of the system that protects them. I'll entertain votes. All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? Actually,
as amended, as
yeah, in the motion, including corrected copy. Termination of the merit system. We have a report from CSEA, so we'll pick it on your term. Anything?
I don't have anything new to update. I'm going with them.
Yeah. My only comments that always falls.
I did tell you that I would keep it on here,
Yeah.
as long as it's out there.
Just being discussed, they could be.
My only comment is look at the discussion and mission that has the best interest classified at heart, be it management or whatever. And she's sitting there, trying to get somebody to do the right thing. And, why get rid of some of the protection at the end of it? That's my comment every single time. Watch Ms. Brindle do what she's doing to protect the employees. I guarantee personnel department's not doing the same thing. Anything else? We have no reason to go into closed session.
Next meeting is September 12th.
We are adjourned 4:58. Folks.